I'm with Brandon Morse, boys and girls. I can't wait for this election to be over. This Brandon Morse piece at Red State this afternoon is of a piece and should be partnered with the Eric Erickson essay at theresurgent.com that I shared in an adjoining video. It's that good. I mean, it's so good you can't excerpt quotes from it because all of it is good. There isn't any place where it drops off. That's why I'm sharing it with you in this video. Now imagine you're watching a TV show, and there are two characters on this show you absolutely can't stand. You loathe them. As soon as they come on the screen, you change the channel. Now imagine that those two characters start appearing in every other show, on every other channel, at every other time slot, 24/7. It'd make you want to stop watching TV altogether, wouldn't it? That is the 2016 election in a nutshell. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Hillary Clinton. No one with three brain cells to rub together does, with the exception of people who feel like they have to, i.e. the cucks, or those who are so gung-ho that they have become cult-like. I once said that people voting for Trump are each voting for a different version of him, but let's face it, so are those with her. Both candidates' positions are about as nebulous as Orion. The Orion Nebula, get it? Furthermore, despite both candidates' unprecedented unpopularity, the media can't deem to give much attention to a historic showing from the Libertarian Party, unless it's to make mountains out of molehills. Gary Johnson even leads in approval among the military, which should be a reportable news item, but he didn't know what Aleppo was. And if you're running for president, you really should know things like that, which explains why the Libertarian Party never gets anywhere. But no, I hate this election because it showed me that people are more loyal to a party than they are to themselves and their allies. And not even because they like that party, but because they hate the opposing parties so much more. The messed up part is that both candidates are so similar in principle and action and character that I'm wondering why we're having an election at all. No matter which one we pick, we're getting the other in spirit. Both are corrupt, wishy-washy, flip-flopping pretenders who use funds not meant for them for personal reasons. In other words, they're thieves. Then try to peg the other as a horrible person for doing so. And as far as it goes, each is right, but so what? Because it applies to them just as much, if not more. Both both have no regard for the Constitution. Doug. Neither seem to be interested in toppling the abortion empire, and in fact, both are big fans of Planned Parenthood. One is literally being investigated for committing a huge crime, and the other has anti-Semitic and openly proud racist support that it is utilized from time to time. Oh, and oh, yes, Trump is being investigated for criminal acts, too. This election is pure dog and pony. I used to scoff and roll my eyes when people would tell me the two parties are the same, but this election has showed me how true this has become over the past 15 months. But most of all, I hate what this election has done to the American people. Things that would not be excused from their opposing party and actions people have decried their opponents for doing are suddenly perfectly okay now that their candidate is doing it. I mean, Trump mania is every bit as much a personality cult as Obamanism was 8 years ago. I mean, come on, Trumplicans. Hypocrites. Principles that people used to have suddenly have been tossed out of the window for the sake of victory. Victory for what? One liberal Democrat over another liberal Democrat? Talk about Pyrrhic. And what's more, these people attempt to have their cake and as they eat it by saying they still hold those principles, which they do not. Because no conservative worthy of the name can possibly support Donald J. Trump. I've lost people I considered friends, watched people I respected turn into raving lunatics, and fought with family over something I consider not worth the effort but forced to confront anyway. I've watched this election make allies engage in something that directly matches up with cult-like behavior, to the point where I've begun to doubt the American individuality I believed we all held, or at least on the right. No matter how this ends, this election has defined a lot of humanity for me. It's a permanent scar on my view of the American psyche. This is the election where we as a nation decided that it was better to go to war with one another over some delusional belief that we're improving this nation by engaging in the worst example of a duopoly we've ever seen, that embrace reality that we're parading around fraudulent emperors with no clothes. It's the election where my former party, the Republicans, tossed aside what was a surefire opportunity to bring in someone who can enact real freedom, bent changes to our government, but instead picked bread and circus reality TV. Before this election began, I had a clear-cut goal of resisting the social justice agenda and ensuring that freedom and egalitarianism continued to be the overarching sentiment within America. I can't wait to get back to that, but it's going to be a long time, if ever, before we get another chance. Thanks to this election, it seems that my list of allies in the fight has grown shorter as my list of opponents gets bigger. Be it the consistent call for the destruction of white America, black America, the patriarchy, the church, the Constitution, the Quaker, the baker, the candlestick maker, both the left and the right have adopted some form of the social justice agenda. Populism, not individualism, has become in vogue. And remember, populism always leads to destruction. And with people who just until a couple of years ago were resisting precisely that with all their might. In other words, Trump supporters, not only did you sell out, you gave up. You said, along with Yosemite Sam, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em. This election has cost us more than we think. And I don't think we'll see just how much until the dust settles and we're cleaning up this mess. Still, I cannot wait for it to end. And at this point, I'm not sure I care how it does. Because the only difference will be who gets to gloat that they picked the right leftist.